Welcome back to Girl Crush Country, where we are obsessed with women in country music. I'm Jess Wright in Nashville, Tennessee, and you might not know this week's guest yet, but she is doing all the things, making all the connections. We're going to talk about all of it. Welcome, Neah McMeen.
Hey, everyone. I'm so excited to be here.
You are relatively new to Nashville, right?
Yes.
You just moved here almost exactly a year ago?
Yep, almost exactly.
From Kansas, right?
Yep.
Okay, tell me, I looked this up. I want to make sure this is accurate.
Yeah.
How small a town did you grow up in?
So small. So I went to school in a town that was in Nebraska and less than 2,000 people. But then like where I live is like 25 people. It's crazy.
Google said it was 30, so that was
you're close. Hey, my family moved away, like a lot of us girls, so that's probably why.
How much of a culture shock is Nashville?
I mean, so I went to college at the University of Kansas, so like that kind of warmed me up to like some type of like bigger town, I guess. And then I've always wanted to like dream big, like go to a city. That's always been my personality. And so like Nashville has just been amazing. At first, obviously, like it was really like scary. And I was like, I don't know if I can drive here. Like it's kind of scary, but I figured it out. And
listen, I've been driving here for 13 years and it's still terrifying.
Yeah. Every day I'm like, okay, I almost missed that turn. Like you just don't know. But yeah, it's been really fun and I just love it here.
But you didn't waste any time because you moved here in May and in June, you're already playing on Broadway during CMA Fest.
Yeah.
Were you playing like in the bars or were you on some of the CMA Fest stages?
Just in the bars.
Yeah. But you just hit the ground running. How'd you look that up so fast? Because that's got to be a busy time for the bars. Like they have to be selective at that point.
Yeah, they do. I was with Nashville Universe and I just did like 2 sets, I believe. And that was my first time singing my songs live, too.
Terrifying.
Yeah, I was really scared.
No pressure.
Yeah, I was really scared, but it was a lot of fun. And I've always wanted to do that. So I'm like, why not debut it on Broadway, you know? Like,
listen, go big or go the heck back home.
Yeah, literally.
How scary was it for you to make that decision to move here?
It was pretty scary just because, like, I'm so close with my family and I like built a life at college and like had all my sorority sisters and like everything like that. So it was definitely scary and a risk because like also like the music industry isn't like promised. You just got to keep trying your best and hoping that like the Lord will, you know, guide you to where you're supposed to be. But I feel like it was definitely like a leap of faith and I did it and I'm living my best life and I love it. So yeah.
I mean, as you said, pursuing a music career is not easy.
No.
We've talked about this over and over again, that becoming an overnight success takes at least 10 years.
Yeah.
For women, it's even harder.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of obstacles have you come up against so far?
That's a good question. I would say just like learning a lot about the industry and like who I want to surround myself with and like just like growing every day and networking, like how crucial networking really is and how you have to like put yourself out there. I feel like I've learned a lot about those things and just like I just want to keep growing each release. I want to just keep like getting some more listeners and like I don't want to be like tied up in the numbers. I'm really not. I'm just doing it because I love to do it right now. And so like, yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing.
What surprised you?
I would say how Nashville is kind of like a small town. And I was like, okay. Because at first I was like, I feel as if everybody kind of knows each other. And then I started to really like make connections and they're like, oh, I know so-and-so and so-and-so. Or like, he's in my band. I'm like, wait, I know him. Like, it's just like crazy. And that's like the whole like joy of Nashville, I feel like. And it's amazing.
We are going to talk about a 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon situation with you. Do you know what that means?
I don't know.
She's so young.
Oh my God. No.
She's so young. Does anybody have any Geritol?
I So
we'll just call it 6 degrees of separation.
Okay.
And I'll let you Google that later because we're not going to get into Kevin Bacon in
That's so funny.
situation. But we are going to talk about a connection with you coming up. How prepared were you for those obstacles when you came to town? Like, did you know coming in that you weren't going to be able to just walk in and own Nashville?
Yeah, I kind of knew that.
Some people do come into town thinking like, I'm a good singer and I'm going to be famous tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I honestly came into Nashville like, okay, I have a lot to work to do. I started learning the guitar, started writing more, booking my own rights, just, again, networking and just, like, learning that everybody is trying to do the same thing here and not letting that get in my mind and, like, fog it because, like, everybody's their own person and has unique things about them. And so, like, I just have to share what's unique about me and just, like, I feel like that was a big struggle is just, like, knowing that everybody else, because like everybody's so good and you're like, how have they not made it? Like if they haven't made it, how am I gonna, and it's like, wait, and then I get in that spiral and I just have to remind myself that like it's really not up to like anybody but like God to guide me there, honestly. So
I have friends who are afraid to do karaoke in Nashville, like because you just never know.
Yeah.
If somebody who might be famous someday is going to be up there too, and then you're like, I can't.
Yeah, especially in Nashville.
Especially in Nashville. But you're still in school?
Yep, online.
Okay.
Yeah, my major is health science.
Which is a completely, I mean, I know you have family in medicine.
Yeah.
So that's a very different field though.
Yeah, it is. I just like grew up with all that and I was a CNA and just, I loved science like growing up. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll be a dental hygienist. And then in college, I kind of like lost the spark for music a little bit. I was just like the girl that could sing in my sorority, And then I got like an opportunity to come to Nashville and record some demos. And that kind of like started everything for me. Honestly.
How are you making those connections?
Like wildly enough from my small town.
From a town of 25 people.
Yeah.
Like
literally, it's insane. Like he was like a family, like distant family member that like heard me sing at like a funeral and thought of me when he wanted songs to be recorded.
Wow.
Yeah. It's actually crazy. I wouldn't be here without that. So.
That's insane.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Are you planning to do something with your health sciences degree, or is that sort of a backup in case?
Yeah.
I don't want to jinx anything.
I know.
Because music is going to work, but
yeah.
Backup just in case?
Yeah. It's my backup just in case. And like I already have so many credits. Why would I not finish? And it's also kind of nice, like, put my brain somewhere else for a little bit since it's always like so music and creative to just like work on something else, I guess. But yeah, definitely the backup plan. But yeah, definitely praying that music works out. But yeah.
Early on, you had a pretty cool TV moment.
Yeah.
How is it that you got the opportunity to perform on a reality show?
Yeah. That was also really crazy. I remember I was like in my sorority house and I like got a call and they said like, hey, like, do you want to be on this reality show? And I was like, what? I was like, wait, are you kidding? I'm like doing homework. So that was crazy. But basically connection through somebody that did my first video shoot. He is the production of that show. So then they were like looking for a country artist to sing at their like barn party. And so he thought of me. And so that's how I went there.
And the show is called Flippin' Farms.
Yeah.
Was that filmed here in Nashville?
Pennsylvania.
Oh, where in Pennsylvania?
I'm not sure.
I didn't see the episode. I was doing some like searches on it and I saw a podcast video where they talked about it. But the people like they came to Nashville for something and said that they got to see you in a recording studio.
Yes, they also came here. So we filmed the barn party in Pennsylvania and then they came here and we did like the recording studio for like little backtrack for their show and stuff. But yeah. And then they had a red carpet event I went to. I think it was in October. And it was really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
so you're just like making connections all over the place, getting the thing done.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about a couple of pretty big connections, but I do want to talk about some of the music that you have released.
Yeah.
You started doing that in 2024, is that right?
Yep.
So before you even came to Nashville.
Yep.
I love the song Bitter.
Thank you.
I know you didn't write it,
Yeah.
but I love maybe I resonate with that attitude a little bit because I just like being open about let's be real. I hate everything about that situation, him being with her. I hate it all.
Yeah.
How did you get a hold of that song? How did you come to record it?
Oh, goodness. Okay. So the summer of 2024, which is crazy because I'm like, wait, it's 2026. I got a catalog of music from the producer I recorded the demos with. And so that's who Buddy Hyatt, he's who started my career with all the songs. And so I was looking through the songs and Bitter really stood out to me. Obviously because, going through a breakup and everything like that. And I'm a very sassy person. And so I just really resonated with it. And I was like, yep, I love the song. So that's kind of how I got that one.
We have a lot of sass in common. I love it very much.
Yeah.
So here's one of the first connections, the 6 degrees of separation that we were going to talk about. You have a little bit of a tie to this year's ACM Awards.
Yeah.
Because your song God Knows Where was written by Emily Ann Roberts, who is nominated for New Female Artist this year.
Yeah.
How did you hook up with her and how did you did you hook up with her to get that song?
I didn't. Billy Aerts, who wrote a lot of the songs that I have out, he had that song he was holding on to and he's waiting for the perfect person to give it to. And so he pitched it to me and I was like, this is literally my life right now. I absolutely love this. And then come to find out that Emily Ann was a writer on that. And then I got to have little lunch with Emily and it was so good. And she gave me her guitar to learn on. She's the best. She was like, oh, honey,
That's
don't
so
buy
cool.
one. You can just borrow one of mine for a little while. I was like, oh my gosh, you're the best.
I love this community so much.
And she's so busy. And I'm like, the fact that she had the time to do that for me is just tells how great of a person she is. So yeah, love her.
So you put that one out last summer.
Yep.
And then fast forward to earlier this year in March, you get your first credit as a songwriter when you put out Unexpectedly.
Yeah.
And this one is crazy impressive because as a new artist and a new songwriter, you wrote this with Deborah Allen. And for people who aren't familiar, before you were born, she had a big hit in the 80s called Baby I Lied.
Love it.
She wrote Patti Loveless's Hurt Me Bad in a Real Good Way. She wrote Tanya Tucker's Can I See You Tonight? She wrote Janie Fricke's Let's Stop Talking About It. The woman knows her way around a hit song. How did you get to write with her? And then how did you come up with this song?
Yeah.
Tell us all the things.
Oh, goodness. Okay. So first off, Deborah's the best person ever. I love her. When I went into the room with her, we were just best friends. We were laughing. I was telling her all about the boys, because obviously we're writing about a boy. And yeah, it was so much fun. And she showed me around her house with all her awards and everything. And that was just so cool to see. And yeah, I really love her. And so basically this was the first song I've ever written. So that was also scary because I'm coming into a room with somebody that's written hit songs and I'm brand new to this. That's really scary, but I really learned a lot and I take it along with me with every write now. And it's just been amazing. But yeah, love her.
So just recently you released Little Scrap of Love.
Yep.
And here again, am I right? You wrote that with
Trey Bruce.
With Trey Bruce, another big hit songwriter. He's written #1 songs for Randy Travis. He wrote Diamond Rio's How Your Love Makes Me Feel. He wrote Carrie Underwood's I Ain't in Dakota Anymore and Rebecca Lynn Howard's Forgive. He's written for Reba and Faith and Trisha and Neah.
Yep.
Again, another big connection there.
Yeah. Yeah. He's the best. He's actually my producer as well. And we have written 3 songs together and they're all my favorite. Like, I'm like, I love these so much. And like, it's so fun how you can like get into a room and like, I'm literally just like debriefing like the breakup or like something like that. And he just like understands. He's like, okay, let's do it. And it's like so fun. And like, it comes together so quickly with him. It's amazing. But yeah, that connection is really amazing. And I'm just so grateful for it.
And you can hear that song in the Girl Crush Country Spotify and Pandora playlists. And there's an EP coming.
Yes, there is. I'm so excited. So basically, I wrote every song on the EP, co-wrote. I have a lot of co-writers and I love having a good co-write. But I'm just so excited and I'm like so proud of it. And just like the overall look of it is just me and like who I'm growing to become. And it's just, I'm really excited for my fans and listeners to hear that and just see where it's going. But yeah, because I've like grown a lot since my first release. And it's just a whole different story when you get to write your own music and like what you live through. Really, like, it's literally therapeutic for me. Like, I write it, I'm like, okay, I'm over that. You know, like I have to be over that now, you know, or like sometimes I'll listen to some of the songs on the EP and they're like reminding you like not to settle for the bare minimum or like not to remodel yourself for a man. Amen. And I'm like, I should listen to that today. You know, like I'm like, wait, I wrote that. Like I should probably listen. But yeah, I'm just so excited.
Talk about some of the ways that you have grown since you first started to today.
Yeah. Okay. My confidence, I would say that's huge. Learning the guitar, never touched one until I moved to Nashville, which is crazy. I used to play a little bit of piano here and there, but not really huge into instruments. My songwriting, every song gets better. And I would just say making the connections and like meaning the connections, not like to get anything out of it. Like I'll be like, hey, let's go grab coffee. You know, like I love to just like talk to people and pick their brains, see like about the music industry some more, you know, because there's always stuff to learn. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've grown in a lot of those areas, but.
Who were you listening to growing up? I know your sound is a little more on the pop country side.
Yeah.
Who was inspiring you to lean that way?
Well, Taylor Swift, of
Obviously,
course.
yep.
Of course. I love her so much. Like, she's the best. Like, I'll, like, listen to her songs before I go into a songwrite, just, like, to get me in the, like, headspace and everything.
Are you listening to the, like, older country stuff, the newer pop stuff, a little bit of both?
All of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, have a little playlist. Taylor's version, of course.
Of course.
Of course. And, yeah, I just listen to that. And I also love Gracie Abrams. But I love Kelsey Ballerini, Carrie Underwood, Miranda Lambert, Casey Musgraves. Like, those are like huge, you know, people that I look up to and who inspire me. Like Emily Ann, she inspires me a lot too. But yeah, those are off the top of my head right now. But yeah.
So you kind of answered my next question, but who are your current country music girl crushes?
Yeah. Okay. This is hard. Megan Maroney.
Yeah.
Mackenzie Carpenter.
Oh, yeah. Love her.
She's doing amazing. Who else? Kelsey Ballerini, of course. Casey Musgraves. Like, they just are the best. Taylor Swift still killing it. Olivia Rodrigo.
Yeah.
You love her stuff. And her new album coming out. I'm so excited for that. I was listening to her song Drop Dead on the way here, and it's just amazing. But yeah, those are kind of like off the top of my head too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I always like to wrap these up with a little flash round.
Okay.
So just super quick questions. What's your go-to karaoke song?
Love Story by Taylor Swift.
What's the best career advice you've gotten so far?
I would say to trust your gut.
Okay. What artist, I kind of feel like I know who you're going to say, but what artist would you want as your best friend?
Taylor Swift.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
Yep.
If a theme song played when you walked into the room, what would it be?
Oh, goodness. My favorite song right now is Wildest Dreams by Taylor Swift. So I'm just going to say that one.
Okay. That feels kind of appropriate.
Okay, good.
What would you say to country programmers and playlisters who are not as enthusiastic about playing music by women in country music?
That's a hard question.
I know. Not really a flash round question, is it? It's sort of a more in-depth question.
Say that again.
What would you say to country radio programmers and playlisters who don't include women?
I would say that you're missing out on huge talent and just creativity and being able to let little girls know like great things and just like lift them up. It's not just about women, it's about little girls and everybody. So you should definitely play women in country music.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Neah McMeen, it has been so great getting to know you. Thank you for coming by.
Well, thank you for having me. I've had the best time.
I'm so glad. If you love what we're doing at Girl Crush Country, which is elevating the voices of women in country music, you can join our mission. First, hit the subscribe button on YouTube, follow us on all the socials, wear the merch, and sign up for the newsletter to get the latest releases, heads up on new interviews, music news, and so much more at girlcrushcountry.com.